Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So today we discuss about the residue calculus. Now when you say residue, this is one of the very important topic in complex analysis. So if you remember that we have discussed about Lorentz series in the last lecture. If you have not seen, we will give the link in the description section, you can just see there. So based on the Lorentz series, we have to find residue. So before that, you need to know singularity, which also we have covered in different videos. So what is a Lorentz series? So it is something like this. This is summation an z minus z naught power n equals to 0 to infinity plus summation bn by z minus z naught power n equals to 1 to infinity. So this part where the power of z minus z naught is negative, this part is called principal part, and based on this we got the singularity. One is removable, one is pole, one is essential. So when we try to calculate this residue, we calculate basically on the pole. Okay, so we will be calculating this residue on the pole. And if you remember that we have told that if you expand this principal part, so what we are getting, b1 by z minus z naught plus b2 by this b1 is called residue. This b1 is called residue. Now you see, for any problem it is not possible to write in this form and then you calculate what is b1. So we need some ready-made formula for finding this b1 or residue. Okay, so let's discuss that. So you need to know something about pole. So if fz is a function like this, phi of z by z minus z naught power m, then z equals to z naught is a pole of order m. So this is very important. So you need to know what is the meaning of the order of the pole, that is how many times it is happening as a factor. If m is 1, then z naught is called simple pole. Okay, so there are two kind of pole. One is simple pole, that is when the power is 1, and another is pole of order m, that is when the power is m. Now how to find residue? There are two formulas for finding residue. Let us give that formula. So calculation of residue. So we can understand there are two type of pole. One is simple, one is pole of order m. So first case will be for simple. That is, if z naught is a simple pole, that is order 1, then residue, it is denoted like this: residue f of z at the point z naught, it is denoted like this. So this equals to limit z tends to z naught, z minus z naught times fz. This is the formula for simple pole, residue for simple pole. Now another formula is there. So number 2, when z naught is a pole of order m, then it is denoted by like this: residue f of z at z naught equals to 1 by m minus 1 factorial. Try to understand this formula. Then d m minus 1 dz. Okay, so just pardon me. So this is limit z tends to z naught will be there, then d m minus 1 dz m minus 1 z minus z naught power m fz. So there is a nice derivation for this residue, that how this formula is coming or why this is called a residue. So this derivation I can try to cover in some other video. So this video is only for the formula part. So you try to understand how we can calculate this residue. Then we can create some another video where we can discuss that how this formula will be deriving. Okay. Now let us do some example. Say example number 1. Say function is given fz equals to z cube by z minus 1 z minus 2. So now what will be the first job? You have to calculate residue, right? So what will be the first job? If I want to do the solution, first you look into the denominator. So if you make the denominator 0, so there are two poles. One is z equals to 1, another is z equals to 2. Now what is the power? The power is 1. So this is a simple pole. And z minus 2 equals to 0 means z equals to 2. There also the power is 1. So this is also a simple pole. Understand? So now how to calculate residue? So there will be two residue. One is for 1, another is for 2. So residue f of z at 1. So that will be, both are simple pole. So this formula will be applicable. So this should be limit z tends to 1 z minus 1 into f of z. Now, so that is limit z tends to 1 z minus 1 into f of z means this one. So z minus 1 and denominator z minus 1 will be cancelled. So it should be z cube by z minus 2. So it is becoming minus 1. Similarly, you can calculate residue f of z at 2. That will be limit z tends to 2 z minus 2 times f of z. So that is limit, so z minus 2 will be cancelled. So this will be z cube z minus 1. So it will be, so this formula is a very simple formula, and we can use this kind of formula to find the residue for simple pole. Now let us give another example. Say let us give a very easy example which you can understand, that is e power z by z square. Now look into this one. If you make the denominator 0, so z square equals to 0. So that will give you z equals to 0, but their square is there. So this is a pole of order 2, that is not 1, order more than 1, that is order m. So you have to apply this formula. So now what will be the residue? So residue of f of z at the point 0 will be 1 by m minus 1. So here m is 2. So 2 minus 1 factorial limit z tends to 0 d m minus 1. So d dz of z square into fz. So this is 1 factorial. So this is basically limit z tends to 0, z square into fz means it will be d dz of e power z only. So it will be limit z tends to 0 e power z equals to 1. So here the residue will be 1. Now the question is that what is the importance of this residue? Why you should study this residue? For that purpose, we have another very important theorem which is called residue theorem. What the theorem is telling is that, say basically this concept of residue has come from the idea for complex integration. So when we try to do some integration, so if you remember Cauchy's integral form and Cauchy's integral theorem, there we have told if C is a simple closed curve. What does that mean? or a simply connected domain, that means there should not be any gap, the function is analytic throughout this, then we get some formula. But what will happen if there is some gap? Say there is a point Z1, there is a point Z2, there is a point Z3. So for practical example, you can think of a tire of a bike. Say the tire is there, you can put some air, so it will be like that. If there are some punctures are there, so there are 3 punctures in the tire. So what you can do, you repair this puncture. So what you can do, you repair this puncture, you repair this puncture, you repair this puncture, then it is becoming again the same thing. Then you again put the air, then the tire will be fine. So these punctures are called residue. That means what the residue theorem is telling is that if there is some curve C, simple closed curve, and there are some disturbing points inside C, if there is a puncture outside, it doesn't matter to me. So if there is some punctures or there is some important point inside C where the function is not analytic or it is the pole, then if you want to find integration, now Cauchy's integral theorem will not work, Cauchy's integral formula will not work, because there are 3 disturbing points are there. So how you can evaluate the integration now? Now the formula is very simple, 2 pi I, then it will be sum of residues at Z1, Z2, Z3. That is, simply you calculate Z1, residue at Z1, residue at Z2, residue at Z3, you add them, you multiply with 2 pi I, so you get the integration over the curve. So that means residue will help us to find the integration over a curve. But here 2 things you need to understand. That is, this point should be inside the curve. So the point should be inside the curve C, and it must be finite number of points. Okay? So if there are infinite number of points, it is not possible to calculate residue for infinite number of points. So there must be finite number of points. So let us give an example and we can then conclude. Say this is a very simple example. Very simple example. So evaluate integration over C dz by z minus 1, z minus 2, z minus 3, okay, where C is mod z equals to 5 by 2. Now when you try to apply this kind of formula, there will be 3 or 4 steps. Step number 1, finding poles. Step number 2, that poles lies inside or outside. Step number 3, residue calculation. And step number 4, residue theorem. Let us discuss one by one. So first, it is very simple. First of all, the first point is you have to find the pole. Now how you can find the pole? You make the denominator 0. So here z equals to 1 is a pole, z equals to 2 is a pole, z equals to 3 is a pole. Understand? So this is the first step, that first you find this pole. Next, you have to check that z equals to 1 lies inside this curve, z equals to 2 lies inside this curve, z equals to 3 lies inside this curve or not. This is very important. How you can check? Say for z equals to 1, if you put this in the left hand side, so this will be modulus of 1, that will be 1. less than 5 by 2, that means it lies inside. So you put the z value in the left hand side. If it is less than the right hand side, that means it will be inside. For z equals to 2, it will be modulus of 2, that will be 2. Now 5 by 2 means 2.5, so it is less than 5 by 2. So this is also lies inside. So for z equals to 3, modulus of 3 is 3. This is greater than 5 by 2. So this is outside. That means we can understand that z equals to 1 and 2 lies inside the curve, but z equals to 3 lies outside the curve. So we will be interested only the inside points. This is not at all important for us. Understand? So first of all, you have to understand what are the poles. Then you check for each one of the point whether they lies inside or outside. If they lies inside, that is our interest. Now we have to calculate the residue for 1 and 2. 3 it doesn't matter. So 1 is a simple pole because power is 1. So residue Fz at 1, this will be limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 into f of z. Now f of z means 1 by z minus 1, z minus 2, z minus 3. So z minus 1 will be cancelled. So limit z tends to 1, it will be 1 by z minus 2 into z minus 3. Now if you put 1, it will be minus 1 and minus 2, so it will be half. Similarly, residue f of z at the point 2 will be limit z tends to 2, z minus 2 times f of z. So limit z tends to 2, 1 by, so z minus 2 and z minus 2 will be cancelled. So it should be z minus 1, z minus 3, so it will be minus half. Oh sorry, if you put 2, it will be 2 minus 1, so 1, and it will be minus 1. Sorry, it will be minus 1. Fine. So we can find residue. Now what is the integration? So integration C fz dz will be 2 pi I, then sum of these two, half minus 1, so minus pi I. That is the final answer. Understand? So this is very easy. Only you have to remember this idea that whenever any integration you have to evaluate using residue theorem. Now the question is that how you can understand that you have to apply residue theorem. See, residue theorem is, you can say, one of the masterpiece which you can make for a large number of problems. So whenever something is there in the denominator, you can think that okay, residue theorem may be applicable. So first of all you have to find pole, then you have to justify that which pole lies inside, which pole lies outside. We will be bothering only with inside portion. And when, then for each point we calculate the residue. So residue formulas are given before, and then finally we apply residue theorem, so we get the integration. That's all for this class. Hope you like it, and I will make another video based on this formula, how this formula is coming, how we can derive the formula. That's all for this class. Thank you.